Why are you so busy? Why are you working so hard at what you're working at? Is it because it truly lights you up? Or is it because you're accidentally doing it just because you stepped on the hamster wheel and you don't know how to step off? We can get lost in our work. And I'm not telling you to stop working. I'm just asking you to have a little bit more awareness around why you're working so hard. Yes, some of it might be passion. Yes, some of it might be drive. And a lot of times the most successful people are really driven by their pain and are really driven by filling a void, and that's okay. Again, I'm not asking you to stop what you're doing. I'm just encouraging you to have some more awareness around the why, so that you don't just perpetually stay stuck in busyness and accidentally work your life away. This is really interesting to think about. Growing up, was life slow moving or more fast paced? So really, I want you to think about this, because this is where we get our blueprint. In our childhood is where we get our blueprint for everything. And a blueprint is a plan of how something is supposed to be created. So if you have a blueprint for, let's say, just the pace of the day, and you are used to waking up and your parents were gone, or they were getting you ready to go to school so they could go to work, or maybe they were waking up and they're listing to you their to-do list. They're like, today we got to do this, 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 this. You constantly felt like your parents were busy, or that they constantly needed to be productive, or that they wanted you to constantly be busy or productive. And that sets the stage for how you're going to view the world and view yourself and your relationship to your work. Next question. How does it feel to have empty space on your calendar or in your day? What does empty space feel like to you? Does it feel like a gift? Does it feel like a burden? Does it feel uncomfortable? Does it feel like you need to fill it with something? Because oftentimes I find myself, and I've worked on this a lot, so I've come a long way, but sometimes if I have a day in front of me that doesn't have anything on it, nothing scheduled, then I start to feel a little bit uncomfortable. I feel like I'm maybe not doing enough. I feel like I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, and I feel like I'm gonna feel guilty at the end of the day. And I think that guilt and maybe even shame of not doing enough is something that a lot of us deal with, and a lot of it has to do with, did I do enough today? Was I busy enough today? We can lay our head on the pillow at night and go, did I do enough today? And we can be honest with ourselves and we can say, no, I didn't do enough. I need to do more tomorrow. But it can't come with a sense of guilt and shame and regret and negativity, because then you're just beating yourself up. That doesn't get you anywhere. What is my inner dialogue? And am I beating myself up, or am I coaching myself up? Am I saying, you know what, Kylie, I want to do more tomorrow. Let's do more tomorrow, but let's be intentional. Let's not just wake up and get busy, because oftentimes that's what I do, because I want to fill that time instead of being able to have the awareness to step back for a moment and say, what do I really want to do today? What is it that will really add meaning and value to my life and other people's lives? And in order to have that space, we have to be able to pause for a second. And if your blueprint is you better get up and get your butt moving, otherwise you are not good enough, you're a piece of shit, you're whatever. I mean, think about the things you maybe heard your parents say to themselves or to each other. You know, maybe your mom was really hard on your dad. Did you ever have your mom come home from work, or she's doing the dishes, or she's cooking and your dad's sitting on the couch drinking a beer, or sitting on the couch watching TV? What feelings were there? What did you see in her eyes? What did you hear her say? Or maybe it was the other way around. But these relationships and these dynamics within those relationships around being lazy, around being still, around not being constantly, working or being productive, these are going to affect the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you view yourself. And until you start really sifting through and writing about and feeling into all these things and bringing awareness to them, they're going to unconsciously run your life. And that's not how we want to live. We don't want to live unconsciously. We don't want to live unintentionally. Because you might end up with money and cars and a house, and great. But did you do it just so that you could prove yourself? Or did you do it just to stay congruent with what your parents did? Did you do it just because if you didn't, you'd feel guilty and not good enough. That's not how I want to live. And so although I've maybe had long periods of time where I've made less money because I've taken a step back to be still with myself, and that's really uncomfortable, I would rather do that than just go bulldoze forward, work, busy, 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 just because if I didn't, I'd feel guilty. If I didn't, I'd feel not good enough. Because when I get to the end of that, how am I going to feel? Probably still not good enough. I mean, yes, money and accomplishments and working hard, those things will give you good feelings. But you have to, at least I feel, I have to have awareness around my relationship to myself and my relationship to my work along the way. Otherwise, we get lost and we forget why we're doing it in the first place.